Hi Sam. Are you ready for today's vocabulary lesson?
Hi Alex. Yes, I'm excited. What's the word for today?
Today we're learning,
fliegen,
which means to fly.
Oh, I know that one. But are there other meanings too?
Yes, the most common meaning is definitely,
to fly,
but it can also mean
to drift, to zip by,
especially when talking about time. Just be careful because it can be confused with
fliegen,
in English, which means,
to fly,
but in German, it can have a bit of a broader application.
That's interesting. What about the grammar for
fliegen,
Good question.
fliegen,
Is a verb, and it's irregular. In the present tense, you say,
ich fliege, du fliegst,
and
sie, es fliegt. Präteritum,
it's,
ich flog,
and in.
perfekt,
We use,
ist geflogen.
so you might say,
Ich bin nach Berlin geflogen.
which means,
I flew to Berlin.
So for the imperative, would it be
flieg,
exactly. Just remember that
Fliegen,
is an irregular verb, so it doesn't follow the regular pattern.
I'm curious about where this word comes from.
fliegen,
Originates from Old High German
fliohan,
and has connections to Middle High German. It has always been associated with the concept of flying or moving through the air. It's fascinating how the meaning has stayed consistent over the centuries.
That is fascinating.
Now, let's break down the word.
fliegen,
Isn't a compound word, so we can't split it into smaller pieces. However, if we consider it as Lego pieces, the root
flieg,
relates to the action of flying, and there's no prefix or suffix here.
That makes sense.
Let's look at some similar words. For example, we have,
abfliegen,
which means,
to take off,
where means,
off,
then there's,
anfliegen,
meaning.
to approach,
We also have,
einfliegen,
which means,
to fly in.
Got it. What about other verbs?
Sure. We can also look at
überfliegen,
which means
to fly over,
and
verfliegen,
meaning.
to drift away,
Other examples include
aufsteigen, to ascend,
and,
herunterfliegen,
meaning.
to fly down.
Each of these has its own unique meaning, but they all relate to flying in some way.
Wow, that's a lot of flying words.
It sure is. Now, let's practice using.
Fliegen,
In some real-life situations. Imagine you're at the airport. You might say,
wann fliegst du ab?
which means,
When do you take off?
can you repeat that?
Wann fliegst du ab?
Perfect. Now, how about if you're booking a flight? You could say,
Ich möchte nach München fliegen.
meaning.
I would like to fly to Munich.
Ich möchte nach München fliegen.
Great job. One more situation, if you're talking about time flying, you could say,
Die Zeit fliegt.
which means,
Time flies.
Die Zeit fliegt.
now let's discuss the gender of nouns.
Fliegen.
Is a verb, so it doesn't have a gender, but if we think about related nouns like,
Flug.
which means,
Flight.
it's masculine, so we use.
Der Flug.
How can I remember that?
A good memory hint is that
Flug.
ends with, and many masculine nouns in German end with similar sounds. You might picture a pilot flying, which can help reinforce the masculine association.
That's a clever way to remember it.
For usage notes,
Fliegen.
is generally neutral and can be used in both formal and informal contexts. You might hear phrases like,
Ich fliege morgen. I fly tomorrow. Wir fliegen nach Spanien. We are flying to Spain.
just be careful not to confuse it with,
Fliehen.
which means,
To flee.
Oh, I see how that could be confusing.
now, let's use some example sentences. For instance,
Ich fliege oft nach London.
means,
I often fly to London.
Ich fliege oft nach London.
great. Another example would be,
Ist nach Paris geflogen.
meaning,
He flew to Paris.
Ist nach Paris geflogen.
and how about this?
Wir flogen letzten Sommer nach Italien.
Which translates to,
We flew to Italy last summer.
Wir flogen letzten Sommer nach Italien.
now, let's do a quick recall check. What's the present tense form for?
Ich.
Ich fliege.
Correct. How do you say?
I flew. Präteritum.
Ich flog.
Yes. What's the past participle for?
Fliegen.
It's
Geflogen.
Right again. Can you give me an example of a similar word with a prefix?
Abfliegen.
Exactly. Last question, how do you say?
Time flies.
In German.
Die Zeit fliegt.
You did a fantastic job today, Sam. Remember,
Fliegen.
is all about flying, and there are many related words.
Thanks, Alex. I really enjoyed learning about it.
Keep practicing, and soon you'll be flying through German vocabulary as easily as you fly in the sky.